saw you go down for a little bit today. How are you doing? How's your knee?
Feeling good. It was a family jewels shot, so
Oh, okay,
yeah, knee is all good. It was a knee. It was a knee to the family jewels.
Got it. Glad to hear.
Which I guess is better than the knee, right? I guess.
Oh yeah.
Given what you've gone through.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, just a few minutes of pain.
How was today otherwise? Obviously a little chaotic weather. Just what does that do for you guys getting to practice in this?
I feel like it kind of brings you back to just kind of being a kid, you know, going to the park and, you know, playing football with your friends in the rain and the mud. It's kind of a test of if you love football, you know, you come out here and have fun in this type of weather. So obviously we've had a little bit of this weather the last week, so hoping for some sunshine ahead.
How do you see your role in this offense? Not a whole lot's probably changing, but are there any differences now that Joe is kind of operating the motion?
I feel like it's pretty similar. Obviously, every year you kind of have to evolve and change just with the league. You know, teams watch a lot of tape in the off season to figure out how to stop things. So you do have to evolve and change in this league, and you look to other teams as well and what's working for them and what's worked, you know, in 12 and 13 personnel. So hopefully playing and living in that a little bit more this year.
You said back in the spring that that was the best you felt at that time of the year for a while. Has that continued? Did you get through the summer and you still feel where you need to feel, I guess?
Yeah, I felt really confident going into that 5 to 6 weeks we had off. I think I attacked it a little bit better than I have in previous off seasons, and focused a lot more on training and saying no to, you know, trips and trying to get things in before the season starts. So spent a lot of time just training down in Southern California and working there, and feel really good where I'm at right now.
Dalton, you speak about evolving and changing every year. Year 4, how do you feel like you've matured as a player and just as a man?
Yeah, I mean, it flies by. The vets tell you that when you come in as a rookie and you don't really believe them, and then next thing you know, you blink and it's going into year 4. I think a lot of things just kind of slow down. You know, you have more of an idea of what's going on. You have more experience on the field and seeing defenses and coverage and alignments, and I think Rob talks a lot about vision as kind of an understanding of what's going to happen. So I think kind of having better vision as years go on and seeing defenses better and understanding concepts better and knowing where you need to be against what coverage. So obviously we have a few weeks to kind of work on that and try new things, but I think it's just a little bit more confidence going into year 4.
When you talk about attacking the off season, did you have like particular things you were focusing on, or was it more just about kind of time on task?
The main focus was probably just strength, a lot of load early on in the off season and just kind of working on that. I have a trainer I've been working with in California who I feel really confident in and the plan we had in place, and him communicating with the strength staff and training staff here about, you know, what I need and what's been working. So I feel like everybody kind of working together just to kind of formulate the best plan, you know, to have now and then as we go into the season. So I feel really good.
How tough is that to focus on load? I mean, you go into an off season, you probably have a little bit of a break, but then ramping up like you would if you're loading, how tough is that, like, just to go into a mindset like we're going to work really hard?
Yeah, I mean, it's a choice you make. You know, you can choose to have more time off or choose to attack it earlier, and I think that was the kind of the plan this year, was just to attack it earlier and get a head start on it. I think I needed it physically, and you know, I feel like it's paying off, and hopefully it pays off, you know, later into the season as well.
What do you expect to see out of Jackson Hawes in year 2? I mean, we saw a lot last year, but what do you think is going to happen with him this season?
You know, I'm just hoping that confidence grows. I think that's a big part of success in this league, is having confidence out in the field, and just, you know, more knowledge, more experience, understanding looks better in defenses. I think he's a tremendous blocker. You know, I think we saw that as his rookie year, and going into year 2, you know, you expect it to get better. You know, it's hard to get better because he had such a good rookie year, but I think you can expect him to have the same impact, if not more of an impact.
What have you seen from Pete Carmichael, and maybe bring in some little nuances, some differences to the offense now?
Yeah, Pete's been great. I think he has plenty of knowledge, plenty of experience in this league. He's lived through so many phases of this league. So just kind of picking his ear and picking his brain about what he sees and what he likes out there, and his experience with the tight end position throughout his time in the league.
What does going against a Jim Leonard defense in camp do for you? After your first few years in the league, you've now gone against Sean McDermott's defense every day for 2 weeks, basically.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of different looks. We're going up against a completely different front, and in coverage, it plays out a little differently. So I think going against our defense we've had the last few years, you get accustomed to that look and you're used to that look, and then now going against this defense, you get a whole new look, and you're working different combos, you're working different blocks, routes adjust accordingly to coverage. So I think it's good to get that experience, especially going against them every day.
Dalton, you had said how you redid the way you approach the break between OTAs and minicamp and here. Are you altering anything now that you are here at camp, and how your day and you're approaching your body?
Yeah, I probably not so much during camp. I think during season it'll look a little different. In lifting and loading at certain points during the week. In camp, the schedule's been great to where we can load pretty well before off days and get a good day of rest before then. But I think last year, I tried to do a few different things during camp and probably didn't work out as well for me. So I think the schedule we have in place right now has been really good for me and for everyone on the team.
To go back to going up against this defense, is there anyone, I know the look is different, but is there any player who's standing out to you right now as you kind of have those back and forths from day to day?
I mean, obviously a lot of guys have talked about, Caleb coming in and his confidence, and it does look like he belongs, and like he isn't a rookie out there. Bradley Chubb and Greg, we're seeing a lot of on the edge, so getting good looks against them. I remember my rookie year, Bradley Chubb lining up opposing me, and he was like, "Do you like it here in Buffalo?" And it was like the oddest question to be asked as a rookie. And then you flash forward, 3-4 years later, and he's on our team. So I think it's pretty cool, just him to come in and just seamlessly become a leader on this team, both on the offense and defense side of the ball. But yeah, I think Caleb's been flashing a lot, and then those guys in the end are looking pretty good.
You did that in a game?
Yeah, at home, my rookie year. I think it was pretty early on in the season, and I was just kind of like taken back by it because it's usually trash talk coming from those guys. And, obviously I knew who Bradley Chubb was coming in as a rookie, so it was like, I was like, that's pretty cool coming from that guy. It's like a sportsmanship award.
Maybe he was doing a little future planning. Right?
Yeah, it worked out. Oh, I told him I loved it. I think it's the same answer everybody gives. So it was a little recruiting pitch.
A little invisible string.
Yeah.
Last year, you were on a little bit of a pitch count because you were never fully healthy. Now that you feel better, do you see yourself hitting the ground running with more snaps like week 1, or do you think it'll be more of, hey, let's keep the pitch count kind of where it was last year, so December and January you feel more at like 100% later in the season?
I hope it's hitting the ground running in full speed. Ultimately, that's not really up to me. It's, I just go in when my number's called. But given kind of where I was at physically last year, we were kind of put in a position where I had to be on a pitch count, unfortunately. And, that kind of wears on you, just not being able to be out there, in certain situations and be there for your teammates. So, this year I feel really good where I'm at right now, and hoping to continue to feel really good.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Dalton.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dalton. Appreciate it.
Yep.